good morning. I'm out here today in Beaumont. We've got to remove and replace just a section of driveway here, and I'll show you what we're looking at. It's on a tight budget, so we're just doing this one panel. 12 foot by 21 foot. Gets us to right here. That's what was called out in the conversation, and we do have a big trip hazard right here. So what we're going to do is just a little extra courtesy is we're going to saw cut at an angle right here and take out a triangular piece of this, and that's going to allow us to get rid of this big trip hazard and reconnect over here, making everything flat, and so the new panel is flat. Okay, broken up. Guys are digging a big channel. Plenty of room to put the form, keep the grass alive. Da, 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 da.
That's Eddie. Stay tuned for the Eddie cam. It's gonna be bacon and famous soon.
We got that saw cut, that triangle there. Make a smooth transition. Getting on it. Look at the grass. You can put it back when it's done. Also got this crack right here that was already there. Make sure that you see that.
All right then, let's go.
So the grade in here was pretty thick after we broke the concrete out because it's been crushed down for so long. And there was a lot of roots. We removed quite a bit of roots, and so we're kind of raking up the rest of the roots out of there and spreading this soil out so that we can get it compacted. It's about 8 inches deep, and we're going to bring in some base. But first we want to get all the roots out of there so that we don't have stuff decomposing under the new concrete. This is something we didn't really foresee. We were hoping the grade would be closer, but luckily there's a place close by where we were dumping the concrete, and they got base, so we just brought back some base. There you can see the roots that we ripped out of there. That was one. So again, on this job, we were on a tight budget, kind of doing a favor here, and so we didn't want to use a pump. Decided to just use the skid steer to get the mud in there. And we got Holiday Rock bringing out the concrete. Shout out Danny. at Holiday Rock. We've been using their mud. It's been great. The communication's good. The mud's good. All around quality. And I don't want to pull too far into here. You see I dropped that pile kind of close. I don't want to tear up that grade. I want to show you this. This is a fiber. That monofill fiber. We put that in all our concrete. We kind of have our own standards here at High Standards Concrete. We always pour a minimum of a 3,000 PSI, and we always include fiber. The fiber mesh is not that expensive, and it makes a big difference. A lot of times we even use 3250 and 4,000 PSI. Just depends on the stuff, but we don't fall to that 2,500 PSI minimum that contractors are held to. We got a higher standard here, so it's part of what we do. Now these are fun shots. I just got my camera on the ground propped up against something. You know, we're just trying to get some media to you guys. We don't got the camera crew out here. You can see Eddie there. He's scraping off the aluminum rods, keeping those things clean. That's Lewis running the funny trial right there, trialing everything down. Oh, actually, hey, that's me. There you go. That's yours truly on the funny trial. And you'll see that beautiful technique. My goodness. Would you look at me go? That's what happens when you do it for 30 years. You just look like another guy who's done it for 10. Hey, but this job came out great. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. There's an American flag in the background there. We like that.
Gotcha, it's your magic crack filler. Yep.
Now this magic crack filler stuff is pretty cool. We've been keeping it on the truck all the time. Something like this, you know, this customer has a lot of cracked concrete on their property and they just don't have the budget to fix everything. But you know, that crack right there, we had to drive over there, and I don't want someone to think that we made it bigger. I know that we didn't, but as an extra courtesy, I just wanted to fill that crack and make it look cleaner, because we did travel through there and some of the small pieces of rubble did come loose. So I want to pull out those little pieces, clean that thing out real good. We're going to put some glue in there. The magic crack filler doesn't call for glue, but we've got a higher standard again. There's just little things that we do. When you've been in the trade for a long time, you see things, and you just kind of know what makes things a little bit better. And it's not going to hurt for me to get basically a primer in there. We cleaned this crack really good with water. We dried it out with the torch. We blew it off. We're going to get some glue in there. And then that magic crack is going to just work even better than it would on its own. You know, it doesn't make this crack just go away forever, and it doesn't structurally hold everything together. But what it does do is it stops moisture from continuing to go into that crack. And that actually makes a big difference, because when it rains and you get a lot of moisture going into that crack, it saturates the ground underneath the concrete, and then when they drive back and forth over it, that subgrade's wet. It's just going to make it crack more, faster, and worse. So it's a good thing to do. I could do this all over their whole driveway, but this stuff isn't free, and we just wanted to cover our tracks in this area where we did work. And again, anything we can do for our customers, if there's a little extra thing, you know, it's not going to take much for me to do this, and this is going to make a big difference for them. And this job actually came from a partner of mine, Will. He owns a roofing company, Do It All Roofing, and he's a really stand-up contractor. And they brought in the roofing material, and actually the customer gave him permission to bring a heavy rig in there. And they cracked the concrete with that heavy rig worse than it was. And even though, you know, Will warned them and they gave him permission and said it was okay, Will still wasn't having it. He decided that he wanted to go ahead and get that concrete replaced. So he called me up, and you know, if he's doing warranty work for his customer, I'm always going to take care of Will.
So we're wrapping up out here, and I'm going to show you guys a little remove and replace. This is how it goes down. There's that triangle that I was talking about. And before we leave, I'm going to hit this corner a little bit more just with the grinder. Smooth. It's good.
I just couldn't leave that like that. You know, I was afraid it was going to pop somebody's tire, or I don't know what. That corner was just too much. We smoothed it out. Replaced a couple broken sprinklers there too.
But, you know, had we not taken that out, there would have been a large transition right there at the new concrete. Now, what this allows them to do is when they decide they want to fix this broken concrete over here, they can saw cut right there and everything will be flat. Over here we got some crack fill we filled in. Everything's wet. When it dries up, that's almost the same exact color. Pretty cool. That was just a extra, a little freebie, little crack fill. Put the grass back in on the edges. Some new sprinklers.
Okay guys, so listen up. Call High Standards Concrete for whatever you need. Even if you need to get asphalt work done, large parking lots, multiple trucks, thousands of yards, 2-yard jobs, 200-yard jobs. It doesn't matter. We can get them all done. We do them better. We do them with a higher standard. We don't do cheap work. Commercial, residential, whatever you need. Talk to you soon.